Well, I think once you know that you can do something, and you know that you can do it, and it's there, it's easy to do, it loses all the challenge or the excitement of working. I don't ever want to do things that repeat myself all the time and take the easy option and take the easy way. Well, for about 5 years, 6 years, with a band, with the same nucleus of people, and I think it came to the situation where I just really couldn't go any further with that. I needed new inspiration, I needed new people to work with, new people to feed off, really. The only really main contributor I had throughout the album, the main sort of nucleus, as it were, was my orchestra arranger and keyboard player, Billy McGee. Now, I've worked with Billy for a while, but before his role in the group had been really sort of bass player, sometimes co-songwriter and arranger to an extent, but he really hadn't really come to the forefront in the music I'd been doing for the past few years, because there were other stronger personalities in the group that had sort of pushed him back, and to an extent started sort of pushing me back on my own records, really. Yeah, I think I pretty much had a very clear, quite a clear idea of mainly what it was going to sound like. Of course, I never like things to be too contrived. There's always got to be room in the studio and room when you're doing things for something to develop and to change, maybe. And quite often I've done records and they turn out very different to how I'd imagined they were going to sound like. But this, I had more of an idea. I knew of the influences I wanted to put into certain songs, of the flavours I wanted to put into certain songs, of the type of musicians that I wanted to use.
Don't go, just wait until tomorrow.
Sometimes I quite like the sort of irony of songs where I like songs that are quite happy and melodic on the outside, on the first listening to, but when you listen to the lyrics, there's something darker and maybe sort of blacker there. I think it's very much a black humour.
A lover spurned.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but I think it's quite deceptive. It has this sort of dance beat, and it's very, you know, I quite like that sort of that paradox, if you like. Well, I've just always loved songs, you know. I like songs, and I like songs that have a melody, which I know is terribly unfashionable at the moment. And, you know, I've always liked the ballads and the torch songs and the cabaret songs. I like songs that tell a story. I like songs that convey some emotion and some passion and some colour. Well, I think it all depends on the type of music that you're doing. Obviously, with a lot of the sort of beatbox music that's around at the moment, it's very simple lyrics, very small amount of lyrics. Something that the rhythm is, you know, and the sound, the whole sound of the track overall is probably what's important, and the lyrics are just there as something, as a hook to hook onto. I think it all depends. I mean, lyrics have been important to me. Words are important to me. I like listening to songs that I can feel. That I can feel, you know, an affinity with, that I can see something of maybe that reflects my life or the way I think and the way I feel about things.
Face to you, grinning with mischief tonight. The shimmer of stars.
I do, and I feel that, you know, I suppose throughout the year, there's very, very small amount of time I spend in Britain. Now, whether that's through choice or whether it's through work, it's mainly through work. I find, you know, I travel around Europe a lot, whether it's doing a TV show here or a TV show there, or promotion, or whether it's just sort of travelling because I'm visiting cities that inspire me or I like to be in. And I feel very much I like to think of myself as a European person.
To my heart, touch of a tempter, touch of a siren.
Well, I've always liked and listened to and been inspired by Jacques Brel, for example. Since I first started listening to him about late 70s, I suppose I was first introduced to his music through the few English artists that had sung Brel before, people like Alex Harvey, Scott Walker, and I suppose people like David Bowie as well, who had covered Brel. And I later listened to Brel himself. People like Juliette Greco and Leo Ferré and the sort of, I suppose, the left bank sort of French artists of the 50s and 60s.
Could it be you, unlock the secret door to my vault, open.
It was confidence, you know. I think just mainly getting getting confidence and breathing. I still don't think I'm a particularly very good technical singer. I think I can make what I sing work for me, and I hope that I can express the lyric well.
From my soul, could it be somewhere I dare not reach?
I've heard it about 3 times over the past week in pub jukeboxes, and I still get driven out of pubs and clubs by the sound of Tainted Love. But I think that, you know, and people say, oh, he doesn't have that naivety that he had in there. He's lost that naivety that there was in those early Soft Cell tracks. This is, mind you, by the same people when the Soft Cell were around, said, oh, Soft Cell, dreadful, you know, the guy can't sing, you know, out of tune. The same people are saying now, Soft Cell, a great group, you know, it had that naivety in his voice. I can't, you know, I've now come on 10 years. I can't hope to still have that naivety when I sing, and nobody can, you know. You have to move on to something else. Maybe I've become a better singer, but I still think, I still sing genuinely, and I still put passion into my singing. Maybe it's more in tune than it used to be in those days. It's not any less genuine.
A lover's burn.